Hello, we're here to talk about transitioning from road riding to gravel riding. Everything you've learned on the road is going to transfer to gravel. So come into your gravel ride with some confidence. You're not coming with zero knowledge. The big difference from road to gravel is obviously the terrain, because it changes and it's going to constantly change. On the road, if it rains, it's still a hard top road. On gravel, when it rains, the next time you're on that same area of gravel, it could look completely different. So you have to get used to, one, how your area and your environment, even if it's the same gravel road day after day, it's going to change depending on what's happened between when you rode it last and when you're on it now. The other thing with gravel is you have to embrace the fact that once in a while, or quite often on gravel, your wheel is going to come out from under you. Your tires aren't going to have grip. On the road, this only happens on rare occasion. If you hit black ice or you find a patch of leaves on the side of the road, you'll lose grip on the road. On gravel, this is normal. So the big thing there is to understand that that's normal, embrace it, relax and have faith. You want to keep loose hands on the handlebars, not so loose that they pop off, but you don't want to be death gripping the handlebars, even if you have no grip underneath. It's like you're holding the handlebars as if you're squeezing a tube of toothpaste. Enjoy the ride, relax, and embrace whatever the gravel roads bring you. One thing you can anticipate with gravel riding that's different from road is we tend to not have as much sight distance with the road. Things are going to change up a lot more when you're riding your gravel bike. Something that you need to embrace is a lack of control, that the terrain is going to change a lot more than it would when you're out there on your road bike. So as always, keeping your head up, always checking the road as far as you can see, but then gravel, you're also going to have to bring your sight line back, and you got to be checking your line as well. All right, just like on the road, you're going to find descents on gravel as you would on the tarmac. The big difference in gravel is you're going to have the same speed as you would downhill, but the problem is with that speed, now you're on loose terrain, so you have to have more control, know when to have use the brake, know when to not use the brake. Speed does tend to be your friend, but too much speed is also not good. The key when you're descending on the gravel is where you have your body weight, and that is you're going to have heavy heels. In order to have heavy heels, you're going to come slightly off the saddle a little bit. That's going to help give you heavy heels and put pressure in a neutral pedal position as you're descending. Hands are going to be down in the drops, and we're not going to have a death grip on them, which you might want to because you're going fast and it's bumpy. You might want to fight the forces. Don't. You want to flow with the forces, have a grip similar to as when you're squeezing that tube of toothpaste. If you have that death grip and you hit something and it sends your bike somewhere, you're more likely to follow where the bike is. With that looser grip, two things: your arms are also being shock absorbers like your legs are, and you're more likely to be able to come back and bring the bike back to where you want it to go rather than where the terrain was taking you. So hills, the benefit to the gravel is because we are moving slower, you have plenty of time to look for the best line. Unlike the descending on gravel, it's coming at you much faster. You're going to have to do a lot quicker processing. So as you climb, the anticipation of looking at the terrain, finding the best line, where is the gravel not as loose, that's the line you want to go for, keeping your weight down in the saddle, and a decent grip on the bars, just like gripping the steering wheel. When you find yourself on a steep section, you're going to want to keep your front wheel from popping up, because just like on the road that can happen, it can also happen on gravel. So in order to help with that, and this is where it's slightly different than road, because it's very important because of the loose terrain to keep your weight over that bottom bracket as best you can. We have a tendency to want to come straight forward, and we would do that on a road bike, but we don't have that solid surface below us. So to negate that wheel from popping up, you want to try to draw your elbows towards your knees. So as a road gets steep, we're going to pretend this is steeper. I'm going to draw my elbows down toward my knees to help keep that front wheel from popping off the ground. All right, when you're cornering on gravel, it's similar to the road. You might have heard about the ABCs before you ride a bike. Well, I like to have ABCs of cornering. And you need to anticipate, so your eyes are looking up the road, looking at what's ahead. You need to have braking under control. You want to brake before the turn, not in the turn. And you want to have the C of always remaining calm. And you have that C with you every time on the bike. There's never any reason to panic. The calmer you are in any situation, the more likely you are to be able to get out of it or pedal out of it. With the braking, as you're coming in, you're going to be looking ahead and you're looking for that line. controlling your speed, deciding what speed you have, and how do you know what line to take? It depends on the surface. You're eyeing up the surface you have. You're looking at the steepness, the pitch of the corner that you're about to take, and you're also going to be looking at the runoff. And that is how you're going to figure out which line to take as you head into that corner. That's a lot to process. So if you're going too fast, you might want to slow down so you give yourself a little bit more time to process, because not all corners can you see everything very well. Sometimes you have blind spots and you can see up to a point of the corner, and after that you don't. There might be a bank there. So anytime things are happening too quick, guess what? You have two brakes. You can use them, and that allows you to use your other thing, your brain, and make the best decision so you can get through that corner on two wheels. A key component when you're cornering on gravel is weighting that outside pedal. You do that also on the road bike, so that should be natural. But especially on gravel, you want to weight that outside pedal, because then what that is doing is, we have grippy tires. You're also getting the grippiest part of the tire digging into the surface, that loose surface that you're making your turn with. So we are going to have, remember, outside pedal down, so I can put pressure. Inside pedal up, keeps it clear from tapping, but most importantly, gives me the ability to really put some pressure there and get the grippiest part of the tires to grip the surface as I'm making my turn, coming through, eyes looking where I want to go. People talk about bike lean, and that comes from the road, especially as a beginner gravel rider. Focus on the outside pedal down, putting pressure, and having your bike grip the road is more important than is my bike at the right angle. If you don't have gravel in your area, there's no need to worry. And even if you do have gravel in your area, grass is great for building strength and getting a feel for how the bike feels under you when it gets tossed around a bit. So don't fret if you don't have gravel roads and you don't have time to get to them. You can still be preparing for gravel using a grassy surface like this. Grass riding is a great thing to take up to improve both leg strength and your bike handling skills. It's also, I mean, because you're getting tossed around, it's going to cause core engagement, hip flexor engagement. So it's a way to also do some on the bike core and hip flexor strengthening as well. And just like anything in life, you want to progress. So start with light grass that's not too thick and not too bumpy, and then you can go to bumpier grass and then even bumpier. So here, found this nice field that you might have nearby. Truly take the road less traveled and hop over on some grassy fields.